Hello, and welcome back to my channel. It is so dreary outside. I've got my cup of coffee here and we're just gonna sit and chill and have a chat. I feel like I've compiled a pretty good list of questions that I get very frequently. So I will do Q&As on Instagram, I'll get questions here in the comments, I'll get questions through my direct messages, and I feel like there's a lot of themes that I get asked the same over and over again. So I feel like there are topics of high interest. For example, like vitamin C serums, setting sprays, high-end products that I actually use, things like that, that I feel like I see time and time again. So I wanted to make one video where you could hopefully get a lot of good information and answer a lot of those questions that I seem to get on a frequent basis that have a lot of interest. I decided to wear red today. I almost didn't. I was like, it's not Christmas anymore. It's like spring. I shouldn't wear red. And then I was like, you know what? Who makes these rules? I'm wearing red. So here we are. But let's go ahead and get right into the video. First couple are skincare related. Number one, what vitamin C serum do you recommend? And number two, what retinol do you recommend? And those are the first two products I recommend to anyone looking to expand their skincare. Is if you're doing all the basic steps that I covered in my last video, the moisturizer, cleanser, sunscreen, then I would say adding in a retinol at night would be like step number one, and then adding a vitamin C serum would be step number two. I feel like it's a good slight increase in your skincare routine, both in the evening and in the morning. Sorry, my light just died. I had to go grab another one in case the lighting just changed all of a sudden. Starting with vitamin C serum, and I've learned a lot about vitamin C serum here on YouTube from Dr. Dre, from Angie Hot and Flashy. They're very complicated. I feel like when it comes to skincare, there are certain products you can grab off the shelf and pretty much be okay. And there are certain products where you really need to do your research, and vitamin C is one of the latter. Like for example, hyaluronic acid is a pretty basic formula. You can pretty much grab one off the shelf and be fine. But with vitamin C, it is very, very difficult to keep it stable. And the two big factors in the stability of vitamin C are the pH and the packaging. And the one that I use is the Timeless Vitamin C Serum. It has an opaque packaging, so the sunlight can't get in it directly. And it has an airless pump. So the product is never being introduced to air until you pump it out. So those are two big things, an opaque packaging and an airless pump that really help keep the vitamin C stable in the Timeless Vitamin C. The second thing is the pH, and the pH of this one is 2.4. SkinCeuticals, for reference, which is like the holy grail of vitamin C serums, is between 2.5 and 3, so it's pretty close to that. Vitamin C serum has a little bit of a smell to it. Most vitamin C serums do. The airless pump sometimes can be a little bit annoying because it kind of like leaks down the side of the bottle a little bit. Just know that even if it's not your favorite packaging in the world, there's a method to the madness and there's a reason why the packaging is the way that it is. And I know a lot of people use vitamin C to help lighten the dark spots on their face. But the thing is that you really need to understand where those spots are coming from and the root problem to fix any dark spots you have on your face. I feel like I would be lying to tell you this vitamin C serum will correct all the darkness on your face, because I don't know what's causing the darkness on your face. It could be from too much sun exposure, it could be hormonal, it could be trauma to the skin. So I feel like you can't universally say vitamin C serum is going to fix the dark spots on your face. That's why I highly suggest everyone goes to see a dermatologist, because they can really help you understand root causes that people on the internet can't necessarily do. Long-winded way of saying I highly recommend the Timeless Vitamin C Serum, not just because I just picked it up and I think it's nice, but because I've done a lot of research on it. All right, so that would be the vitamin C serum, a way to expand your morning routine. The second question that I get a lot is, what retinol do you use? Like, do you use different? Do you use one that's off the shelf? And I don't personally. I use a product called Arazlo. It's prescription, so you'd have to go see a dermatologist to get it. And we went back and forth between Arazlo and tretinoin, and we decided to start with Arazlo because it's a little bit gentler on the skin. Anyone that's used tretinoin would probably tell you that you have to get through this phase of like skin peeling and redness, and it's a very intense product, which is why it works so well. But if you have trouble with actives as it is, like maybe with glycolic or lactic or salicylic acid, you get a serious reaction on your skin, starting with tretinoin might be like going from 0 to 60, but starting with Arazlo a couple of times a week is also giving the anti-aging, anti-acne benefits that you're getting out of a product like tretinoin. It's more like going from 0 to 20 miles an hour. So I personally want something that I can use, I can work up to using every single day on my face. And then if I feel like, okay, I'm using a Raslo every single day, let's take it up a notch. I'm gonna start with tretinoin. Then, you know, if I get there, I get there. But I personally have been really enjoying a Raslo. The dermatologist that I see is a board certified dermatologist, but she also specializes in cosmetic dermatology. So she understands my skincare goals and things like that. And she herself uses a Raslo. She's in her late 30s, early 40s. She personally uses a Raslo and prefers it over a product like tretinoin. Just another alternative if you're looking for one. I know that's not something you can just go buy at the store, but I really feel like prescription strength retinols are 100% worth it. If you are able to go see a dermatologist, a product like a retinol is so strong and so potent and kind of a complicated product to use that I would really recommend seeing a doctor to tell you, okay, based off of your skin, this is what I recommend. Here's how many nights you should use it. Here's how you should handle skin reactions, and you have someone to call if you have a reaction. That's just my personal opinion. So that's the vitamin C, and that is the retinol that I use. I'm not gonna be able to get through a whole lot of questions if I keep rambling this month. Another question that I get is, how old are you? That's a fast and easy one. I'll be 33 next month. And along the same lines, kind of, is have you ever done any Botox or fillers? I have an update for you guys. Back in December of 2022, I decided to try baby Botox, a very tiny amount of Botox in my forehead. Again, I went to that same dermatologist who I really, really trust. She does Botox, she uses a Raslo. Her skin is fantastic and it looks extremely natural. She suggested just doing a little bit and see how I feel about it, because I was so nervous. I almost backed out like 3 times. I was like, wait, I don't know. Okay, all right, let's do it. I've heard mixed things about pain and Botox, and for me it was like almost completely painless. But I decided to get it because when I saw her a few years ago, she said, I asked her when's the best time, if I wanted to start Botox, when's the best time to do it? And she said, when there are static lines when you wake up in the morning. We expect when you go to sleep at night from making facial expressions all day that you've got some lines that you can see on your forehead and other areas. That's completely normal. But then if you go to sleep and your skin has restored itself and you wake up in the morning and you're still seeing those lines, that means that they're starting to settle in. So if you want to get ahead of those lines, then go ahead. And that's kind of your sign that if you wanted to try it, that's a good kind of milestone to look for. And I want to preface this by saying there's nothing wrong with naturally aging. Courtney Cox just did a really powerful interview talking about looking back at how young she started using Botox and fillers and how much regret she had for how far she went, and just the beauty of naturally aging. So I think there's a lot to be said for that. I'm not trying to influence anyone either way on whether or not you should do Botox, because I think it's a very personal preference. For me and my job, I'm constantly on camera, being dissected by the internet, and you know, it's definitely a vulnerable place to be. It's definitely something that I've looked into given the industry that I'm in and just my personal preferences. So I had it done in December, and by February, not even February, I was pretty much gone. Like right now, you can see it's gone. That's what it looked like before. So I have a super fast metabolism, and we went as conservative as you can possibly go with Botox, and so it wore off pretty quickly, and I don't necessarily miss it. I didn't like rush to book my next appointment. I think it's something I'll probably dabble in. I just don't really want to go down the road of fillers. So if fine lines is something I want to get in front of, I want to do that with skincare and a small amount of Botox rather than letting the lines happen and then retroactively dealing with it. My forehead and my crow's feet are the only places that's ever bothered me, and my dermatologist is like, I recommend your forehead, but I am not touching your crow's feet as beautiful aging. I'm just really glad I found a dermatologist that is so tasteful and has the opposite of a heavy hand, has a light hand. So yeah, I will always be honest with you guys about that. If I do it again and I do more, maybe I can show you like a before and after, and we can just talk about it. All right, next up is my favorite setting spray. Definitely Milani Make It Last. That has replaced my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless. It has replaced my Urban Decay All Nighter. It is like hairspray for your face. I don't use it every day personally. If I'm going to a wedding, if I'm going to like a concert, if I'm anywhere where I need my makeup to last for a very, very long time, that's when I use it. But a bottle will last me a long time because it's not part of my everyday routine. I know Milani Make It Last has like a dewy version, a matte version, an SPF version. I've tried them all and I only recommend the original Milani Make It Last. It's the best one. All right, how do I find my shade in drugstore foundation? There are a few things you can do. I know this is one of the downsides of foundation shopping at the drugstore right now. Hopefully this will change in the future. Some of it is unfortunately trial and error, but to eliminate as many trial and errors as possible and to get as close as you can on the first guess, my recommendations would be, number one, if the bottle is clear, like think L'Oreal foundations, True Match, Infallible, all of those come in clear like glass bottles. If you have one foundation in your collection that's in a clear bottle that you know your shade, so let's say you know your W5 in L'Oreal True Match, then when you are in Target, when you're in CVS, pick up the L'Oreal True Match in W5, walk around the store with it when you're looking at other foundations and hold that foundation up to the other foundation and see if you can match as closely as possible. I find that to be really helpful. It's like a reference point if you're buying a foundation in a clear bottle and you own one in a clear bottle that you already have your shade match in. It's just a game of matching. So that really helps. Number two is there's a website called findation.com, and on that website you can type in as many foundations as you already own and your shade match in them, and then you type in the foundation that you're looking for and it will recommend a shade for you based off of the other foundations you already own and the shades you own in those foundations. They don't have every single foundation in the system. They do have quite a lot. And then number three is on Ulta's website. They actually also have a shade finder or shade matcher. I think it's linked on any page where you are looking on a foundation. There's like find my match or shade matching. And if you click on that, you can answer a series of questions, and then based off of all your answers, they'll recommend a shade for you. Hopefully one of those tips can help. All right, next up is my favorite mascara. I get this a lot. And I have two. I have two favorite mascaras. I have a favorite tubing mascara and a favorite traditional mascara. Just a quick recap, tubing mascaras are the non-smudge, non-transfer proof that come off with warm water in tubes. Think of them like rubber polymers that wrap around your lashes, and then think of traditional mascara like paint, you're painting on your lashes. So my favorite tubing mascara is the L'Oreal Age Perfect waterproof mascara, and then my favorite traditional mascara is definitely Milani Anti-Gravity. I remember when I first tried it, I actually looked back on that video last year, when I first applied it and my reaction to it. Now, like a year and a half later, it being my favorite mascara since then, it was fun to go back and look at my reaction when I first put it on. I think I did like 1 or 2 swipes and I was like, I'm gonna love this, and I was right. All right, next question is, what high-end products do you love and use? Like, do you have any high-end products that you truly love? Because I do a lot of dupe videos. And honestly, it is hard for me to answer this question because I do genuinely use 90% drugstore makeup, and I own a lot of high-end makeup. But because part of my job is finding great alternatives, I find those alternatives and I prefer them. But I do still use high-end makeup. I'm not gonna let it go to waste. I've actually started a series on my Instagram sharing high-end makeup empties that I will not be repurchasing and what I've replaced them with. So I'll be posting those to shorts so you guys will see those as well. A skincare product that I have not yet found a good replacement for at the drugstore is the Belief Beauty Eye Balm. It is extremely pricey. I want to say it's almost $60. Comes with a lot of product. It lasts me a really long time. It was a part of the Ulta sale last year, and I bought 2 to kind of stock. It was 50% off, which I've never seen before. So I bought 2 of them, and I just love the Belief Beauty Eye Balm. It's one of the best ways to prep your skin for concealer, in my opinion. It really hydrates my under eyes, and that's a place where I really need the hydration. So that is a high-end product that I genuinely love. The closest alternative that I found is the e.l.f. Holy Hydration Eye Balm. That one is really good as well, but it's not the exact same. And then the other product that I do genuinely love and use that's high-end is the Hourglass tubing mascara. That is another tubing mascara that I bought in my tubing mascara showdown. That it was one of my other favorites, and I do still use that one, and I use the Thrive one because I have them, I bought them, I'm gonna use them. So those are 2 tubing mascaras that are high-end that I genuinely really enjoy. And I have the Milani one. In my opinion, it just doesn't compare to the Thrive. I would definitely go with my Hemish tubing mascara or my L'Oreal Age Perfect over the Milani one. Shade to Milani. They make my favorite traditional mascara. Okay, the next question is the best neutral beginner eyeshadow palette. For anyone that is just getting into makeup or maybe has been into makeup but isn't into eyeshadow, finds it very difficult, just like wants an understated eyeshadow for every day. The one that I always recommend is the e.l.f. Bite Size Palette, which is $3 in the shade I Love You a Latte. It's a fully matte palette and it has everything you need for an everyday look. I use it constantly. It is always the first eyeshadow palette that goes in my travel bag because I love a good matte eyeshadow. I love just natural looking eyeshadows to enhance your eye shape, and that is, in my opinion, a must-have eyeshadow. If you're looking for just one to get started with, that's the one. Another question I get is, what fragrance do you wear? I have two favorites. One is found at Target and one is more, I would say it's like mid-tier. It's not like high end, it's more mid-tier. So the one at Target is by the brand called Good Chemistry. It's called Queen Bee. A little bit goes a long way, but it smells very high end. It's my favorite fragrance that I found at Target, which says a lot because they have a lot of fragrances now. And the other one that I use for like date nights, because I don't wear fragrance every day, so a bottle of fragrance is gonna last me years. Because I usually just really wear it on date nights, which happen like once a week. So the other one that I love, is probably my favorite, is by Quai. It's called their North Bondi. And the notes in this one are bergamot, Italian lemon, violet, and white musk. It comes in a travel size, so if you were wanting to try it, I'd recommend starting with the travel size. I think it's sold at Target because perfume is so personal. You know, I can tell you it's my favorite scent in the world and you could smell it and be like, this is the worst scent I've ever smelled. It's so personal, but it's my favorite. I just love how it smells. I get compliments on it all the time. Another frequently asked question is, what is your origin? I don't know if I get that question because my hair is dark or what makes people ask that question, but I'm a major mix. I've got Irish, I've got German, kind of a big mixture on my mom's side. But on my dad's side, and what I think people are seeing is the Croatian in me. My dad's pretty heavily Croatian. So I think it's the Croatian in me that people are trying to pinpoint. They're like, what am I seeing? So yeah, Croatian is probably what you're seeing. What is your favorite cream eyeshadow? My favorite cream eyeshadow has been for a very long time, still is, the Revlon cream eyeshadows. They're really kind of difficult to find in my experience. I think there's some shades on Ulta's website and there's some on Amazon. I just absolutely love that formula. I used it when I worked as a bridal makeup artist all the time. It lasts so well, and it's not like the Maybelline Tattoo ones that are kind of hard and dry. They're very creamy, and then they set down just as well as the Maybelline Tattoo ones. So definitely the Revlon. Another question is, what is your sign? My birthday is next month. I'm a Taurus, and if you Google a Taurus, it is my personality to a T. I'm married to a Sagittarius, and we are polar opposite human beings. He's like light, free spirit person, and I'm like type A, hate change, stuck in my ways, stubborn. That makes me sound bad, but I'm also very stable and dependable and loyal. What made me start believing in the whole astrological world was it was after my husband and I were married. I was well into adulthood. Someone was like, what are your signs? And I didn't even know. And they're like, oh, you're a Taurus and your husband is a Sagittarius. And we went home and we looked up both Taurus and Sagittarius, and we looked up Taurus-Sagittarius relationships, and our jaws were on the floor. We were like, this is literally our life. It's bizarre. So it sort of made me start believing in it. Another one that I get a lot is the best eyeliner for the waterline that will not smudge or give you like raccoon eye. One is the Milani Stay Put eyeliner, and the other is the LA Girl Ultimate eyeliner. I believe the LA Girl one is significantly cheaper than the Milani one, but I would say the Milani one is just slightly blacker. They both come in brown as well. Another one is absolute favorite bronzer you cannot live without. Definitely L'Oreal Infallible waterproof bronzer. It is a true matte bronzer that lasts through anything. It's waterproof, and it feels so high end. It is one of those products that in my dreams, where I put together a forum of very bougie women and I put products without packaging in front of them and I have them guess whether it's drugstore or high-end in my dreams that I do this. This is one of those products 100% of the people would get wrong. Another one is favorite body moisturizer. By a long shot. It is the Naturium Bio-Lipid fragrance-free moisturizer. It is the perfect happy medium between a heavy-duty moisturizer that makes you feel greasy and a lightweight moisturizer that makes you feel like you need to apply more. It's right there in the middle. It's also fragrance-free, so if you're a self-tanner, it's not gonna mess with your self-tan, or if you just have sensitive skin. But it doesn't smell bad, it doesn't smell like chemically or weird. It just smells like a lotion. Highly recommend. I feel like I've been rambling for a very long time now, so let me know if you guys enjoyed this, if you wanna see a part 2 of more really frequently asked questions, and I'd be happy to do it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one.